Hi, we'll now be looking at the Maya Visor. Visor is something like a library which is inside Maya, but it has so many objects in there that it'll actually let you finish your scene pretty easily. To access Maya, first we'll open it and go in the Windows, General Editors, Visor. This is how Visor looks like. It has a lot of tabs on it, which says starting from Paint Effect, Ocean examples, Fluid examples. Sometimes you need to save some settings in the Visor so that you can use it in later stages, or sometimes you can download things from the internet and you can store them here. The path is already always given, and you can store them so that you can use it in your scene anytime you want. To start off with Paint Effect, we'll go in, we'll select the first thing that is, let's start off with food, no, let's start off with object meshes. Okay, let's start off with object meshes, and let's create this first one, Arial, and just click and drag, and you'll see this just the way it is. You click and drag again, and it'll create more. You keep clicking it, it'll create more. You keep clicking it, the more you click, the more it gets done. And if you enter and see how it looks like, it already has colors in it. So from this angle, yeah, they already have colors in them. And if you want to edit this, if you want to say you want to change somewhat vertices on it, if you want to increase this plate, you can't do this in the paint effect, but what you can do is you can convert these paint effects into polygons. To do that, you need to go and modify, convert, and say paint effect to polygons. When you click that, it does all these calculations, and you'll see that small line that was there connecting everything, it goes away. And now you have your polygons. If you need to delete some or edit some, you just have to select the faces in them and just delete it. Face, select, delete. Face, select, delete. That way you have more controls on your objects. Okay, let's see something else now. General Editors, Visor. Let's take a city mesh. We'll start with Chicago Tower. Remember, the more you drag, the more you click and drag, the more buildings you'll get. So if you just paint around like that, you'll get a decent amount of buildings. And if you render this and see how it looks like a proper Chicago building. Great. Now if I want to convert this into polygons, I'll just go to Modify, Convert, Paint Effects to Polygons. See, the line is already gone now. Go to Faces, say delete. I don't need that. So this way you can modify your objects as per you want. Okay, let's take another one. Let's see grasses. Grasses and trees are the main things that most of the visual effects artists use when they are doing their shots, because that way it becomes easier for them to create a tree. Because Maya has a number of trees in them, and if you go on the internet, then you'll have a wider library which you can download and store in your Maya folder. Okay, so let's take one of these. I'll take cherry tree. Just click and drag, and you'll see that it has already created two trees because I dragged it a lot, too much rather. And if I render this, get in the center by pressing F, if I render this, I see two cherry trees, and they look really nice. But remember, some meshes in the visor, they are very heavy. For that you need to modify, convert into polygons. Once you convert it to polygons, you can't step back. So make sure you have all your attributes changed and manipulated the way you want it. So if you would get a tree like this, or any tree for that matter, you can increase its properties or decrease it as much as you want. You can change the size of the leaves, you can change the size of the stem, the branches, if you want it really wide and big, and if you want to spread it all over the place, then you can probably increase the values. And if you go in the attribute editor, it shows you more and more options for that. Let's just render and see how this looks. The denser your geometry, the more time it should take to render it out. Let's just delete this. So now we have trees, buildings. Okay. So as you can see, there are a number of these. Now let's go in the fluid examples. Fluids comes under dynamics. So you can actually create some from here, right from scratch, right from zero value. Or you can take some presets that are already there in the library or the visor and work it out from there. So let's just take this. But remember, when you're in fluids, if you want to take these properties in the scene, all you need to do is middle mouse, drag it, and drop it in your scene. This way, you'll see that it's created a nice fluid effect. Now let's just render this and see how this looks like. Let's just set it up properly. And it has a camera in it, so let's just view through the camera and render this and see how this looks. Keeping in mind that fluids effects take some time to render, even if you make it from scratch. And the Maya software renderer is trying to calculate everything. This is really good when it comes to making landscapes and making something that is really complicated, or sometimes when you have a very short deadline and your supervisor or your producer says, I want this shot as soon as possible. This is a really good tool to use. And you just have to tweak a little bit of properties here and there. Probably give them some fluid effects or feels, that is the air, gravity, define them a little bit, and then you can show this final shot to your supervisor, which he should like. Or if he has some tweaks, you can go back and do the tweaks in a very faster pace. Okay, so as you can see, it looks very nice. It looks like clouds, and it looks very soft and subtle, as it's supposed to look like. You have a lot of clouds in there which you can tweak. You have morning sky, you have daylight, you have foggy sky. So yeah, Maya does give you a lot of flexibility when it comes to tools. And another, yep, that's that. Okay, that looks very nice. It looks like a proper sky, as if you're in a plane and you're actually taking a photograph of that. Okay, now that we know the sky, as you can see, it has a bunch of them. And this is the time lapse, which changes time all the time. Ah, that rhymed. Okay, let's just delete this. And let's just take a new scene. Okay, that was the sky. Let's just see explosions. I'll take this new 2D and and yeah, it has a camera. So I'll just go to panels, look through selected. You can of course keep this fluid container wherever you want to. When you play this, okay, let's extend this timeline to 100 frames. And when you play this, you go in the shaded view, textured view. When you play this, it will show you how it comes out. Stop it. Let me just go behind and stop it in a very nice frame. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And render this out and see how it looks. The explosion. And yes, it does look like an explosion. So yes, you can go in your Visor and play around a little bit and see what suits you and what doesn't suit you. You can experiment with as many things as you want to fill up your scene, and yeah, you'll like each and every effect in this because these are some effects that have been used in movies and televisions all over the world, and these are made by very senior artists in the industry. Okay, thank you for watching.